Well, welcome to ATGLive, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. I'm one of your hosts, Pete Fletzer, and I'm joined not by Nick Milky tonight. Oh no, Nick kicked me out the last 2 weeks. He said, "I don't want you on the show," and I said, "Nick, I'll tell you what, you're not doing next week. I'm going to do it with Chris." Chris, what's up? I didn't really say that. We just have had these weird schedules lately, but Chris wouldn't be the same if I didn't start by saying, Chris, how are you?
Pete?
Yes.
I'm feeling old, Pete.
Feeling old?
Doing good.
Why are you feeling old, man?
Oh, man. I'm about to turn, what is that considered? Is it golden anniversary or silver? Wait, which one is it golden?
I'm going to look it up because I got to know. What anniversary is... here we go. Let's see. I think it's golden.
Yeah, golden. Okay,
it is golden.
I'm about as old as Grogu now.
You are turning golden to a happy birthday, man.
Thank you, sir.
This is the unofficial birthday celebration, pre-birthday celebration. So you're a Valentine's Day baby, man.
Yeah, it's a curse. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hey, let me be the first to say happy birthday. Happy birthday. So, well, I'm excited you're here. Yeah, we did have another weird scheduling thing this week with Nick and I, and at least I'm back. Nick will be back next week. He might be back later on in the show. He had a prior engagement for this evening, so he may join us around the time that the callers come in a little bit later on in the show. But that's, for those of you who don't know, that's what we do at the show. We do a little talking at the front, we do some news, and then we have a guest. And tonight's guest is none other than the world famous Cam Ray. He's got a brand new podcast called Star Wars and Smile. We're going to talk to him about that. And we are going to share what we think are some of the funniest moments in Star Wars when Cam is joining us. And then we want to hear from you. We have a couple voicemails as well that we want to play. And we're going to want you to dial in a little bit later on in the show. But Chris, we talk a lot about the Broaxium Outpost.
Yeah.
Maybe sort of an unofficial kind of what's new in the shop. What should people be who are watching this show, who are Star Wars fans? What should they be latching on to this week? What's the newest stuff you got coming in?
There's some new stuff coming in. Like for me, there's a lot of backlog of stuff that's starting to roll in. So like I said, I got that Moff Gideon Black Series helmet.
Oh yes.
Coming in. There are some let's see, the Prince Zizor Black Series set is coming in. Right now my mind's a jumble, so I can't remember everyone else that's in that set, but that is one of the most important ones. Is the Prince Zizor Black Series figure, and Dagan Gera from Dagan Gera from Jedi Survivor is on the way. I think that's late this month or early next month that'll be dropping.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, and if you get a chance, check out the website. You get 10% off. ATG 10?
ATG, hey, I think you do. Hey, it's your code, man, not mine.
Yeah.
No, ATG 10 gets you 10%. I know it works because I ordered some stuff from you about a week or two ago, and I'm always trying to keep up with what's coming out. So, yeah, look. Philly is doing the parade for. We got to talk about that, Chris, because I know you're not a sports ball guy.
No. I am. I'm not an Eagles fan.
You're not an Eagles fan.
No, not at all.
And it's funny. People think I'm an Eagles fan because I'm a Flyers fan and a Phillies fan, but I was definitely an Eagles fan. I just hate the Cowboys. I do.
And it boggles my mind. Like, don't be a Jersey fan and hate. Come on.
Oh, yeah, you have to hate the Cowboys if you don't love the Cowboys. I think it's
no, that you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. And that's just the way of the world.
But I assume you're going to try to stay out of Center City tomorrow because tomorrow is the Super Bowl parade in downtown.
No, but come on. Surrounded by these yahoos 24/7, 365. Why am I going to go where they're going to? No, because someone's going to eat horse feces. Someone is going to climb a pole and something, and someone's going to get hurt. Dummies.
I have to say the worst thing about this Super Bowl, and I was worried about it a couple years ago when they beat the Patriots, but now my son, he's 12 years old, huge Flyers fan. He's got his Michkov jersey, he's got his Konechny jersey. Huge Flyers fan. When we watch baseball, he's a Phillies fan. He likes the 76ers. I don't watch basketball. And he said to me, Dad, why do we like the Eagles? Because we like everything else Philly. And I was like, you can like what you want, but I've been a Giants fan since, I was 10 years old. You like, and them winning and the freaking Cooper DeJean doing that interception, playing the same position that my son plays, did not help. I think we lost him. I think he'll be wearing green and silver next year. But hey, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. It puts a little bit of family competition in there, I suppose. Yeah. So, but we're not a sports talk show, although sometimes it feels like it. We are a Star Wars fan show. Every Thursday night, you can join us here live. We have great conversation. We share the news. We have guests. We take your calls. We do every week. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, rate, review, all that stuff that you're supposed to do when you're here. And share this. Go out on social media and share it with people. And remember, now you can leave us super chats now. And what I wanted to do, I was real quick, Chris. I was digging through some of my old stuff. I was cleaning up the office here, and I found a bunch of my old. Like, I used to really be into getting stickers for my podcast, like my old Around the Galaxy stickers, the old logo, which we used to use, which isn't that dramatically different. But I also found some C-3PO as a monster die cut stickers. And the real funny story on that, for those who don't know, if you've been following the show for a while, you heard this when I first had Jason Fry on the show 100 years ago. Jason wrote the Last Jedi novelization. He's also written a whole bunch of other things. Great guy, friend of the show. I used to ask the question, who's your favorite droid, R2 or 3PO? And his response was, oh, it's got to be R2 because C-3PO is secretly a monster. And it was funny because he told this whole story about how, like, when Luke finally comes to Jabba the Hutt's palace, the first thing 3PO says is, "Oh, Master Luke has come to rescue me."
Yeah,
like
he's ruining the whole thing.
So concerned only about himself. So we created the hashtag C-3PO as a monster. Jason Fry has a T-shirt with this on that he wore at Star Wars Celebration on a panel last time I saw him, and we have this sticker. But the funniest thing about it is we created a hashtag. Anthony Daniels blocked me. He's the only Star Wars celebrity who has blocked me. Not even Gina Carano has blocked me. Well, she has, but she's unblocked me and then reblocked me and unblocked me. But Anthony Daniels has still blocked me simply because I said C-3PO is a monster. So
he's very sensitive about his character.
Nobody loves Anthony Daniels as much as Anthony Daniels. So it's not a total shock. But hey, if you do a super chat tonight, don't say anything about it, Chris, because he'll block you too. We don't need that. But if you do a super chat tonight, regardless of he blocked you, damn it, just by being on the show with you. If you do a super chat tonight, and you let me reach out to you, I'll send you some of these old stickers, including the world famous C-3PO is a monster thing. So, but we're gonna take a real quick break. When we come back, we're gonna do the news, and then after the news, we're gonna be joined by Cam Ray. And we want to hear from you. What do you think are some of the funniest moments in Star Wars? I have about 7 or 8 here ready to go, and we'll definitely share them. But we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be sharing the news of the week.
What's up, my fellow Gen X Star Wars fam? My name is Chris Rhines from Broaxium. You may know me from ATG's Force Connect that I co-hosted with Pete and Nick. Now, I'm the owner and operator of Broaxium Outpost, an online shop for all your action figure and collectibles needs like Star Wars Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, Star Wars Vintage Collection, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series and Vintage Collection, Transformers Studio Series, Star Wars lightsabers and helmets, Masters of the Universe, and much, much more, including Star Wars action. All right, I have a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm just saying. Stop by and check out the store at www.broaxiumoutpost.com. Sign up to become a part of the Bounty Hunters Guild and stay updated on new pre-orders, sales, and exclusive Broaxium content. Find something you like? Use the promo code ATG10 for 10% off your first order. We have Star Wars figures, by the way.
Yes, he does have Star Wars figures and lightsabers and helmets and whatever else is
Yeah.
coming out. Order and use ATG10, get 10% off. We say it every week, I'll say it again. You're gonna buy this stuff anyway. Buy it from Chris. Look at that face. Look, you got it. He's gonna be 50 tomorrow, for goodness sake,
Oh,
folks.
Christ.
Buy
Yeah.
buy something from Chris tonight. Do it tonight as an early birthday present for yourself and for Chris. There you go.
And if you use any super chats tonight, I will do them in Lando voice or something like that. When you
Look at that.
you know, if that helps.
I don't know. Who knows? Give it a try. We shall see. Well, hey, tonight we are looking at the news. We got a bunch of news stories, including Daisy Ridley's involvement in the new Star Wars movie. We're going to talk a little bit about Sigourney Weaver and her role in the Mando movie. And Luke Skywalker is coming to Galaxy's Edge. So let's hit the news. Well, Chris, our first story tonight is Daisy Ridley is gearing up for her return to the galaxy far, far away, and this time she's taking a more involved role behind the scenes. Best known for playing Rey in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Ridley is set to reprise the character in the upcoming new Jedi Order directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. In a recent interview with Collider, Ridley revealed that while she won't be credited as a producer, she has been actively engaged in the creative process. She said, quote, "I'm involved as much as I know what's going on. I know the story. I know what's going on with the script. So I'm aware of all that." She's also emphasized how much she values the opportunity to be more involved from start to finish, ensuring that the film is told in the best way possible with the strongest casting crew. And while Ridley remains diplomatic about her experience on the sequel trilogy, her comments suggest a newfound confidence in the storytelling process this time around. Though she won't officially be a producer on New Jedi Order, her growing influence behind the camera could pave the way for future producing opportunities. With Ridley expressing enthusiasm for the project, Star Wars fans have a reason to be optimistic about Rey's next chapter. If her involvement signals a more cohesive vision, New Jedi Order could mark a fresh start for the franchise. Chris, what are your thoughts on her being more actively involved? What do you think it means for the story? What does it mean for where Star Wars is, or the character?
I think it's good. My one thing, like as a sort of filmmaker, like on a very very indie level, whatever keeps the talent involved and interested and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely, I think it's a fantastic idea. If she gets to help shape her character and all that kind of stuff, and just really put in her and her love for it going forward. Absolutely, why wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think it's interesting. One of the things I'm really happy about, I think, is it took so many years for both Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill. Carrie Fisher is kind of on the outskirts because she was always she embraced her Leia character, but Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford were kind of like, I want to do other things. I don't want to always be known for this character. But once they realized that this is what they were known for, unfortunately, it was a little bit late in the career,
Yeah.
And it's nice now that Daisy's going to be in a spot where she's going to still be young enough to be an active Rey and an action character and get to do all those things. And I also have to say, if you go back and watch The Last Jedi, whether you like that movie or not, and we all know it's got a bunch of different thoughts. Ultimately, The Last Jedi, her acting in that movie is fantastic. The way she pulls on emotion, the way she pulls things together. I like it better. And some people say Rise of Skywalker, she's a little bit better. But to me, I think Last Jedi is where she shines the most.
Yeah, I was just watching that the other day. And they're all fantastic. Boyega and Oscar Isaac and all that. But Daisy really, like, even in Force Awakens, like Daisy just brought like every one of these movies, even the one you don't like. Daisy really brought it, like each and every time. Like, not a bad job, not a bad scene at all.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No. And again, back to the Jason Fry comment. One of the things that he mentioned, and I always thought this was really interesting, when he wrote the book, he had the script. He didn't. I don't think he realized there's something to do with the rain in the scene, and that wasn't part of what he knew. And the way you realize she'd never seen rain before, and the way she puts her hand out, it's just so well done. Yeah, very classically done, very well done. Yes, excellent. Well, we have more news. We have a story here about Sigourney Weaver. She is going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, as we know, but she's bringing her legendary screen presence to the Star Wars universe. And in a recent interview with Games Radar Plus, the veteran actress teased her role in the upcoming film, The Mandalorian and Grogu, revealing that she plays a character in a position of authority who sends Din Djarin on a mission to the Outer Rim. That's news to us. Weaver's involvement has been a major point of speculation since she confirmed her casting in August of last year. And while she remained tight-lipped on specific details, she did reveal one major perk of the role: sharing scenes with Grogu. He's a little badass too, she said, hinting that fans will get to see how much the beloved character has grown. Directed by Jon Favreau, The Mandalorian and Grogu marks the first big screen adventure for Din Djarin and his Force-sensitive companion, continuing their story from the hit Disney Plus series. Production wrapped in October of last year, and the film is set to be released in May of 2026. Also joining the cast is the Bear star Jeremy Allen White, who will voice Rata the Hutt, who you may remember from the Clone Wars animated show, the animated movie. Fans are speculating that Weaver's character may fill the leadership void left by Carl Weathers' Grief Karga following the actor's passing. Whether she's a New Republic official or another key figure in the galaxy, Weaver's commanding presence is sure to leave an impact, with more reveals expected as the release approaches. Anticipation for the Mando and Grogu continues to build. Chris, is she going to be a Republic general figure, or is she going to be like what do you think she's going to be doing?
I initially thought, and I can't remember the character's name in the expanded universe, but I was certain she was going to be part of like the Imperial Remnant. It was this one Imperial officer who had like a red uniform.
Oh yeah,
like one streak of like white hair, and I forgot her name, but I was certain she was gonna be playing that. Oh, okay.
Jordan's got you, Dala. Okay. Yep. Oh, man. Thanks, Jordan.
So yeah, that's what I thought. If they're looking for someone to replace Carl Weathers, first off,
you can't.
You can't.
Right, for sure.
But Sigourney Weaver is a close second.
Yeah.
I will give it to Sigourney Weaver for that one. If she's going to play someone who's going to take over, his role as like magistrate or high magistrate, for Navarro.
Yeah.
And for the guild and all that. Okay. But if it's someone who is sending them out on missions, she's going to be a New Republic.
Yeah, I think and this gives me hope that we're going to see our good friend Carson, right? Because Carson, because at the end of season 3, right? He said, "Be ready to call you for missions." And there it is, right? It's setting it right up.
Yeah.
So one last question for you on this story before we move on to the next one. Do we hear Grogu's first words in this movie?
It's time.
Yeah,
it's time. I mean, he got close to uttering this is the way with Grogu. Oh, I'm sorry, with Din and Bo-Katan.
Yep.
So it's time.
Yeah.
And that crowd is going to erupt.
Yep. You're gonna need to make sure you see the movie on day one, because the social media will explode with that. Jordan says his first words have to be, "That's so wizard."
We can only hope.
It's gonna be, "This is the way." It's got to be, right?
Yeah. Or never tell me the odds. All of a sudden, he's the Han Solo character of the whole.
Or what if his first words, "I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold."
I like that. I like that so much.
There's your dark Grogu, right?
Yeah. Yes, Grogu the Destroyer. There's still time.
There's still time.
He's so young.
By the time you get him into Rey's movie, when you're in that part of the timeline, he could have turned by then. Yeah.
Things. Look what happened to Luke with 30 years. He was not the same person.
No, this is true. Eric says his first words are somehow Palpatine's return. No. Oh, Marianne says somehow Yoda returned.
Ooh. Ooh.
All
I'll
right.
take it.
Okay.
I'll
Now
take
we're
it.
getting silly. All right. We got one more news story, and then we're going to bring in our friend Cam Ray. We're going to talk about some of the funniest moments of Star Wars and talk a little bit about his brand new podcast. But in the meantime, fans of Galaxy's Edge, we got some news for you. Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge is about to welcome a legendary hero. From March 28th through May 11th. Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 will make their debut at the park during Seasons of the Force celebration. The announcement came via a cryptic Instagram post from Disney Parks, as you can see here on the screen, showing the Jedi and his droid companion arriving next to the Millennium Falcon, sending chills through Star Wars fans everywhere. This marks a major shift for Galaxy's Edge, which originally adhered to a strict timeline set between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. However, with the arrival of the Mandalorians Din Djarin and Grogu, as well as Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, and Fennec Shan, the once fixed continuity has loosened, and now Luke Skywalker, specifically a younger version, clad in his iconic black Jedi robe, joins the lineup. Skywalker is the first member of the original trilogy iconic trio to appear in the park, and while fans once speculated that only The Last Jedi's Force Ghost Luke would fit the established era, the shift in storytelling allows for his return in a more classic form. In addition to Season of the Force, Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night will take place from April 8th to May 6th as a separately ticketed event. Fans eager to see Luke in action should plan their visit soon. For more details and ticketing information, go to Disneyland's official website. Chris, I think that's one of the things that some of the fans had sort of pushed back on about the whole Galaxy's Edge thing, is that it was sequel trilogy only. What does this mean to you? What do you think? Is this a great idea, or do you think they should kind of stick with that Westworld kind of approach to storytelling at Disneyland?
There was a time when I thought like, maybe they should do like, seasons of eras, do an Age of Empire, series, doing Clone Wars era, sequel trilogy era, yada yada yada. But if they're doing something like this, and they've already got Mando era, Mando in there, and Sabine,
yep.
At this point, I look at it as just one big box of Star Wars action figures.
Yep.
Just mix them all up and boom, just let them go. Why not? Yep. There's no need to stick. You're going to stick to continuity, but it's just this nexus. You're going to use a Star Trek thing, but this nexus of Star Wars characters. Why not? I think that's awesome.
I do think you're right. I think they were a little too precious about what they were trying to do. Look, and I get it, and it was a great idea. And if the Halcyon Galactic Cruiser still existed, I would understand it. But honestly, I think it's at the end of the day. Look, when somebody who isn't deep level nerd like us, like people watching the show, listening to the podcast, people who are on Star Wars Twitter all the time, they don't care. When my dad goes to Galaxy's Edge, he wants to see Vader walking through. He wants to see Kylo Ren. He wants to see Darth Maul. He wants to see them all. It's like when you walk through Magic Kingdom and you see they just have added Cruella de Vil and some of the villain. You see, look, Cinderella and Snow White didn't live in the same universe, but they're characters in that universe. And you don't look. You believe you're in a Star Wars world, but you're also not sort of like doing the history lesson while you're sitting there. So.
I think another cool thing is to see these different era characters, cross paths. It makes the ones like from the sequel trilogy integrate more with the psyche of fans who were like maybe only original trilogy, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it just kind of makes it all work for them.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're a Star Wars fan who is not so hung up on the lore, who doesn't study Wikipedia on a daily basis, you just know, I know Luke, I know Anakin, I know Han Solo, I know Kylo Ren, I know Poe Dameron. Like, I just know the characters. And I think, honestly, that was part of the problem for Acolyte, for my broader audience standpoint, was trying to get into the right time frame track. And I think,
they'd have given it one more season, it wouldn't have been a problem. But
but hey, well, that's a whole other conversation that I probably shouldn't start right here, right now. But no, I'm excited about it. I think this is the way to go. I think, but I love your idea of like January through March. It's prequel era, and you got like Sebulba walking around or whatever. You got
that would be tough.
That would be. You need a
you had to get like some circus dude who
get hire Cirque du Soleil, bring them in.
Yeah.
But I think
like it'd be a huge Sebulba though, like huge.
Yeah.
Like that's not lore accurate right there. That guy's
that's
enormous for Sebulba.
Well, we I don't know, maybe but you can put like a little, just give a kid a bowl cut and walk him through his little Annie and Qui-Gon walking around. I don't know, but there we go. So but that's the news for this week. There's a lot more news stories on our website. If you're not familiar with it, if you go to the sswnetwork.com, as the news comes out, we put the stories up now. So there are many more stories on our website that we go through every week here. But go check those out and keep your eye on our Twitter feed and our Blue Sky and our Facebook and wherever we are. As soon as those stories hit, we put them up there. We want you to go check them out. We put them in short, little 250 word, concise, get the news, get the info, get out kind of stuff. We don't have the attention span for it. We know you might not either. So, but
that makes sense. Okay.
So Jordan says that Sebulba is sometimes known for growing up to 27 feet tall.
So much Star Wars trivia that I just
so much we didn't know. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be joined by our friend Cam Ray, talking a little bit about his new podcast, as well as talking about the funniest moments in Star Wars. Stick around, because we're also going to want your calls. And if you want to leave a voicemail, go ahead and do that now, 504-321-1501. We'll play it a little bit later during the show. I won't have a chance to listen to it ahead of time, so I don't know what you're going to say. Give me a hard time. Give us a good time. Who cares? Leave us a message or join us when we put the link in the chat a little bit. But we're going to take a break, and we will be back with more ATG Live in just a minute. Well, welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for hanging in the chat. We'll give you that chance to call in a little bit. And again, don't forget, if you leave a super chat tonight, we're going to send you some of these older stickers. The C-3PO is a monster are classic. This is still one of my favorite stickers that I ever made. I should make these again. The Stormtrooper with the headphones on. I'm surprised Lucasfilm hasn't asked me to not do that. You know, there were some t-shirts. I had one with Rex where he had his guns, and Lucasfilm politely shut that down.
Yeah.
I don't, but hey, you know, it is what it is. But you can still get this stuff. C-3PO is a monster is an absolute must-have if you're a fan. So anyway, we have a special guest. You know him, you love him. He brings nothing but humor and some of the most bizarre and yet hilarious things to Star Wars Twitter. Let's welcome our guest.
McClung.
Hello, Mr. Ray.
Hey, everybody.
Cam Ray, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
Good.
We are doing good. It's great to see you.
Awesome.
Good to have you back on the show. You were on the show a while ago, I think. One show
I
at
don't
one
remember.
point or something.
It was, yeah. I don't remember yesterday. So
that's quite all right. So, Cam, we are excited to bring you in because, first of all, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about your new podcast.
Okay. Well, there's not a whole lot to share about me that's really that exciting, I guess.
All right. Well,
but,
this has been fun. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks again. Maybe next time we'll, I hope to see you again soon. So, no,
No,
yeah. So just I'll try to make this short and not get too wordy. I feel like I'm on repeat here with this, but yeah, I was born 79, so kind of prime time for Star Wars. So I kind of don't remember, or I don't remember not remembering Star Wars, if that makes any sense, So Return of the Jedi was kind of in my prime. So all the toys, everything that goes along with that, had the big R2D2 toy bin with everything in it, and so lots of outdoor play with the toys. I kind of wish at this point I hadn't. Well, I don't know. I don't. I enjoyed playing with them, but that like the Jabba's palace is out in the dirt in my grandparents' backyard. Just going through any scenario you could with it. So of course I don't have it now, and I'm like, man,
I think about that too. I mean, I used to have, we when I grew up, our neighborhood was it was a recently built neighborhood. And so each house had like a big sand pile that was just like left over from the builders or whatever. And I remember me and my friend next door, we abused these things. And there are times where I'm like, but if I still had them, but you know what? I had so much fun, and it made me the Star Wars fan I am. So
exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't regret it. Don't regret it at all. But yeah, so I just kind of grew up loving Star Wars. My mom really turned me on to all the behind the scenes videos and all for the movie. So I really early on got into, really into all the special effects and all of that. I've been a musician. I started taking piano lessons when I was 6, and now I'm a professional musician now. So it's the music always spoke to me as well. And then just I've always enjoyed it. So I guess that's kind of my younger backstory. And then I've always been kind of into humor, like watched SNL, through middle school. I was kind of addicted to SNL, and like some of the older comedy, like Dick Van Dyke and all the Nick at Night stuff. But then I got into the stand-up comedy, physical humor kind of stuff. So I was always into that as well. So I just feel like, so flash forward to the podcast. Once I got involved in like Twitter and all of that, thanks to listening to some Star Wars podcasts, I was like, well, I'd like to do something with Star Wars, but I've always done stuff with humor and music. So why not I combine it all? But then it's, there's, I think the last figure was 2.7 million Star Wars podcasts currently in broadcast. So
give or take,
give or take 0.5 million. But I was like, you can't like, I'm not going to do it. People like you guys do it so well, and it's like, what can I contribute? So I just kind of do all my goofy little videos and all, but then part of me, it's like I've become a caricature of myself online, because that's kind of how I approached all of social media. When I was in college when all this stuff started coming out, and like, this is dumb. I'm not going to be for real. So like all my accounts were just to be stupid and sarcastic, So then, but then it got to a point where I make some friends who understand the humor, but then also, as you guys I'm sure are aware, many people don't share the same senses of humor, or it's hard to recognize humor, and then especially when I decided to do like That's a Load of Star Wars, where I'm an angry Star Wars fan.
That's hilarious.
Pronounce names correct, gets all the facts wrong, but then people are just like in the comments, just like mansplaining me on Star Wars. But then of course I have to play along with them, and I can't like come out of my bumbling Michael Scott idiot character, So I was like, but what if I do a podcast and I can kind of be that straight guy, and then still play the characters and do the goofy stuff, but kind of be myself and actually get to just talk about Star Wars, on my own show. But then the main thing is bring other people on and, have them enjoy it and all as well. I guess the only downside is my monkey lizard Bub, I kind of got roped into using him as well in the show, and to kind of show off his low IQ. I don't know. I got him. When I went to Galaxy's Edge a while back, adopted him, and everything was good for a while. He was, I guess he was wet in the bed for a while, but then anyway, he's not,
they do that.
Yeah. He's not that bright. Let's just say. Anyway, what are you doing here?
Question is, why are you here? You banter-breath baldy. Mr. P invited me on the show.
No, he didn't.
Isn't that right, Mr. P?
No, he didn't, Bub. Okay. So you invited yourself.
Same thing.
No, it's not. Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, Bub, I tell you what, let me make a deal. Either you can take my spot on ATGLive, or I can't believe I'm about to say it. I'll get you that pet loath cat you've been begging me for.
You mean I can have a pet loath cat?
Yes. But you're gonna have to go right now. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my gosh.
He got what he wanted.
I'm sorry. This is not good. I don't like cats. I mean, I don't know much about loath cats. I'm sure they're maybe better, but anyway. So. Sorry, y'all. But yeah. So I just want to like have a forum to just make people smile about Star Wars. There's so much. I mean, y'all know so much divisiveness and stuff, and that's why I kind of put a little pause on the Star Wars, the load of Star Wars thing, because it's like I don't know. I thought it was funny, but it's like I don't want to be another negative voice in the community. So I thought, well, maybe this would be a way to do kind of like a variety show kind of thing, and just talk about what we love. So,
like you brought up a good point. There are literally thousands of Star Wars podcasts, and frankly, every day, Nick and I and Chris, we're like, what can we do to make this a little bit different? What can we do? You nailed it. So I think it's I texted you as soon as I listened to the episode, and it's like literally like it's like an old. It's interesting to hear that you like that older kind of humor, because it did strike me as kind of like one of those 70s, not even a variety show, but just sort of like a radio show, which was like with characters and interviews and the so it's a very different take, and it's a lot of fun. It's very different.
Cool. So I really appreciate it. Means a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you haven't yet, go check out Star Wars and Smile. And you're 100% right. There's so much negativity out there. Often, I bring some of the fight to it, but I probably shouldn't.
No, maybe 70%. Yeah.
Just
it's a low number.
But it's nice to have that just kind of laugh. And you're right. Humor is very hard to portray, because you don't know what people are going to like, and the internet, of course, nobody's ever happy or satisfied. So
yeah.
But hey, one of the things we wanted to talk about was, and I have some clips here, but I want to hear from you and Chris. Star Wars is funny. Star Wars is and people often forget. I don't have the clip of the his mama joke from Last Jedi, but I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's stupid." But Star Wars has a ton of humor in it, and before I play some of the clips that I have, maybe guys, what are some of the scenes that you and if I have them here, I'll play them, but what are some of the Star Wars scenes that you guys think of that make you laugh, that you feel are some of the funniest Star Wars scenes?
Well, I mean, I
the monkey lizard is back at it.
Hey, you want the loaf cat? Sorry. Not the scenes with monkey lizards. That's for sure. I mean, this was a tough one. I was thinking it through. I mean, I kind of like think of like different characters, I guess, that I think have great deliveries. I like Han Solo. I think I love his, I mean, it's Harrison Ford. I just love his delivery, his sarcastic kind of, just the, who's scruffy looking, just those kind of little one line, or the, it's like shooting the panel, boring conversation or whatever, I love that. And that's super goofy. It's like, it's not like any kind of award-winning humor, but it's the delivery of it. So, I mean, that would be one of mine. So.
Yep. It's funny you say that. I actually do have that clip.
Everything's under control. Situation normal. Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're sending his coordinates.
Negative. We have a reactor leak here now. Give us a few minutes to lock it down. Large leak, very dangerous.
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company!
I have to say, with the laugh track, it's actually a bit funnier. But I'm gonna play a second clip from that same movie, because one of the things I always think about, and then Chris, I want to hear from you. One of the things I always think about was when I went back to see the Star Wars original trilogy when it was re-released in special edition. The main memory that I have, I took my dad, we went to New York City to see them. It was when I was doing some of the stuff for Star Wars Galaxy magazine. But the thing that I remember most is watching the movie in the theater with an audience who laughed, right? And because like when you're sitting and you're watching it at home, or you're watching it on your phone or whatever, you remember these parts, and you probably don't laugh anymore. But this was the scene that people laughed out loud at, and I forgot how very funny it is. So let me play it.
What? Listen to them. They're dying, R2. Curse my metal body. I wasn't fast enough. It's all my fault. My poor master. You're all right.
Like, that's funny shit.
Yeah.
That's good funny Star Wars, and there's a lot of funny lines in both Star Wars on TV and in the movies. Chris, where do you come in on some of the stuff?
When you first brought it to me, there was one that popped into my mind first, and it isn't like this blare out belly laugh kind of a scene, but it's subtle, and it just shows the Han Solo's kind of like, a little bit of his comedic side, his smartassery. And I remember watching this in the theater, and my mom was next to me, and it made her laugh. And I remember that vividly. And it's from Return of the Jedi when I think they're about to Han's about to go engage these biker scouts, and right. Luke's like, quietly, something to go quietly. He's like, "Hey, it's me," and that's like,
"Hear this? You stay here quietly. There might be more of them out there. Hey, it's me."
Release the laugh track version. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's another experience. I love it.
But you're right. It's so many of the lines are Han Solo. And I think the ultimate funny line is something that comes at a moment that isn't that funny. And I'll play you this one. But just perfect, right? And Star Wars injects that humor at the right times. And maybe, when I talk to guests around the galaxy, and I ask them sort of to describe Star Wars and what is it? Oftentimes we forget that it's the humor that that makes the movie. Any other sort of scenes or characters or thoughts? I have more to play, but I want to hear what else you guys have to say.
I have one that's along the same lines as the I Know one, but a little bit darker than that. I find Captain Nita's arc hilarious. I just find this guy's like, look, we let him get away, okay? I'm just gonna go talk to Vader. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna own up to it. He's a rational guy. I'm gonna take a hit for the home team. It's gonna be okay. I will see you guys later. Who's buying lunch? It's not me, it's you, Ozzel. I'll be back. And then it's the apology accepted. I'm like, that's so cold. And that's just it's every time when Vader just chokes people out, I'm weird. It's funny to me. Ozzel, hilarious.
But you're right that apology accepted. Nita is so it's dripping with evil and hilarity.
Yeah, it's like it is like oh my God, Darth Vader's a dickhead. Like he's like it's yeah.
And your dad.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I guess another of mine, it's to go a little darker, it's the look on those younglings' faces when Anakin walks in.
So dark.
Executing orders. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Master Skywalker. There's too many of them. That is hilarious.
It doesn't make
hilarious.
Master Skywalker. And you're dead. No, I think the droids in general, K2SO. I mean, going away from the trilogies.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that's part of the. I consider Rogue One kind of part of the original trilogy, but I do love K2SO. Just the sarcastic lines, especially coming from a droid, it makes it even funnier, I think.
Yes.
But
I have a K2 line here for you. Here you go.
Where are you taking these prisoners?
These are prisoners.
Yes, where are you taking them?
I am taking them to imprison them in prison.
He is taking us to...
Quiet! And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
Yes.
That's just one of that entire movie. And I'm hopeful that we get that full K2 in
oh my gosh.
In Andor season 2.
Yes. Well, and then his line, where he's like, "Did you know that wasn't me?" And they shot the other one. His delivery is great. And then my other one would be R2 and 3PO. As a team, I'm not the biggest 3PO fan, like in general. I don't know. He kind of gets on my nerves, but the two of them together is perfect because like R2 is just like telling him off, but they're like the old grumpier old men or the old married couple that's just bickering. I love it. So,
have you seen the
Yes,
I'm going to screw it up.
With the two Brits.
Yes. Who are
Why
those?
can't I think of their names now?
Well, Nick's chiming in.
Oh, there's
Steven,
Nick. Yes, you made the sound with your mouth. Yes, from the Solo movie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great one too. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. But we also got some of it in the prequels. I'm going to play this scene here because it's funny and it's also probably the most underrated, brilliantly written scene in Star Wars, and I'll explain why I think that in a minute.
We must survive on our own.
Has anybody ever seen a pod race?
They're pod racing on Malastare. Very fast, very dangerous.
I'm the only human who can do it.
You must have Jedi reflexes if you race pods. Don't do that again.
You're a Jedi Knight, aren't you?
That is brilliant for the same reason that the scene in the cantina is brilliant, because he just said you must have Jedi reflexes, and then he has the Jedi reflexes.
Yeah.
And then Anakin says you're a Jedi Knight. It's like, it's actually really brilliant. George doesn't get enough credit for writing. Yes, he's a great storyteller, and some of his scripts are clunky, but that's perfect. And then the other one, which I had the clip of but didn't load it up, was when Han meets Luke and Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan says, "Myself, the boy, two droids, and no questions asked." And then Han Solo says, "What is this, some sort of local trouble?" Like, immediately ask the question. Ask the question. So, but just really, and there's the subtle stuff, and then there's the stepping in the EOP poop and that sort of thing, with the fart jokes, which are there. But there's quite a bit of hilarity in Star Wars. And again, even in some of the Disney Plus stuff, I want to play one clip here, which doesn't get enough love, but should.
We need a diversion. What we need is a diversion. Is there an echo in here?
Yes.
What?
I'm Echo.
Really?
It's dumb, it's stupid humor, but it works, and
who's on firsty.
Yeah,
correct.
Exactly.
And you're in this intense, and that's why, I think that's why Star Wars works. And I think, like, for all the people who want to see the darker Star Wars and the heavier Star Wars and things like that, you don't
comedy
really
in that too.
Yeah. And I think that's why Rogue One is so good, because you have K2, you have, even Baze and Chirrut, they're a funny, sort of, bouncing off each other kind of characters. But Yeah. The last thing I'll play is our favorite little green friend, and this one with the laugh track put in actually changes the scene quite a bit, but I think it's still pretty funny because Grogu is comic relief in that show. So
Stop touching things.
cute humor always works too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Well, Cam, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance. Is any other funny stuff that you can think of? I mean, I know it's hard to put you on the spot and ask you those
No,
questions,
it's all good.
but Star Wars is funny, and I think people need to remember that.
It is. I mean, Babu Frick. I mean, any scene he's
Yes.
in. I mean, come on. I mean, I can't do it, but yeah. I'm doing my warm ups, but I was in the middle of my McClunkies. Yoda, just when we were introduced to Yoda, the whole. I mean, Frank Oz doing his Ozzery, Yoda beating R2 for the flashlight. That whole, just his whole like goofy facade or whatever. All of that's funny. Poe, some of his lines are great. Like, who's going to talk? How do we do this? You talk after,
Yes.
Just the timing. His timing is very similar in that Harrison Ford kind of like, I don't know, sarcastic kind of way. So.
Yep. For sure. Well, Cam, tell people once again where they can find you on the interwebs, and how often is the show coming out, and what's the plan for Star Wars and Smile?
Okay. You can go to StarWarsAndSmile.com or CamRaySemiproductions.com. They all lead to the same place. But so, and then you'll have links to all the socials. Cam Ray on Twitter and Instagram, Cam Ray Semi Productions on Facebook, TikTok, and then Cam-Ray on Blue Sky. And so I think that's it. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then YouTube, Cam Ray Semi Productions. So the show, Star Wars and Smile, the podcast, my plan is to do it semi-weekly since it's a semi-podcast. So every other week, I'm going to release a new episode. And then on the bye weeks, I'm going to upload some video content that goes along with. I'm not going to do the full podcast in video form, but like last week, I had usually like the guest segment. I'm going to have that also in video form that'll release in the off weeks. And then any like things that I any of my crazy stuff that I feature, I'll have video versions of that also. And so next week, this week it'll be videos. Then next week, my daughter's going to be on. So I'm excited about that one. We actually recorded this a while back when she couldn't pronounce her R's. So it was a little cuter. But we discussed the first episode of the Young Jedi Adventures, and she cool. does a little Bub's cousin Bibby. So I have a little segment with them on there and all, but it's pretty awesome. And she's hilarious. She loves Star Wars. She's 8, but so that'll be fun. I'm excited about that, and she's excited about it. So
yep. Awesome. This has been a blast, man. We hope to have you back. Hey, if you look, I'm just throwing it out there. If you need somebody to be a guest on Star Wars and Smile, give me a call, man. I'll do it in a heartbeat.
I will. I'd appreciate that. No, it's awesome.
And if you haven't checked it out and you need a Star Wars laugh, which you do, go check out Star Wars and Smile and follow Cam on all the interwebs. And guaranteed to bring a smile to your face. Cam, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it. May the force be with y'all.
May the force be with you. And we'll be back with more ATG Live in just a minute. Well, we are back. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on ATG Live. Thank you to Cam Ray for joining us. Seriously, go check out that podcast. It's different. It's not like every other Star Wars podcast. I can guarantee you that. But he's got characters. He's got. It's just. And if you thought that Bub stuff was funny, then you'll love that show. And yeah, hey, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think some of your favorite Star Wars comedy moments are. Call in. We put the link in the chat. You can join us for a call. We also have a couple voicemails. One I haven't heard yet, and one I have. So we'll see how that goes.
If you're calling in, stay on task. We're talking about Star Wars comedy. You can see me in the back room. I see you.
Stay on target, as they say. All right. Well, hey, let's bring in our first caller. Our live caller, our regular caller. Here he is.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
Hey, there he is. It is Honest to Claude, smoking his death stick. What's up, bro?
Did you check out Claude Offshore, my second episode?
No, I have not. Oh, wait, is that the one where you? Yes, I have seen that. It's basically what I love about it is it's a commercial for ATG Live, which is fantastic. I love it. So yeah, if you follow Honest to Claude, he does these videos where he plays where he was on other shows, and luckily, since he's on here all the time, we play a pretty big part in that. I know you're on other shows, but
it's only right that I pimp for you, considering that I'm like how many appearances I have on this goddamn show.
You're like the record holder, man. You're like the record holder. But honestly, offline, DM me and give me an address so I can mail you some of these stickers. You deserve some stickers. So
what stickers are those? What the hell happened? What?
This is the C-3PO is a monster sticker.
Oh,
yes.
All right, cool.
And these are the
I want the smoke from Anthony Daniels. Come and bring it, bro.
Yes, that's true. So, all right, what is your favorite Star Wars comedic moment? I'm hoping that's what you're calling in for.
Eric?
I don't have any big conspiracy this time. Okay, I'm sorry to disappoint me right before your birthday, Chris.
No. That's an early birthday present. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to expand on the Hux clone thing.
Thank you.
One of my favorite comedic moments is the porg that almost commits suicide with the lightsaber. I think that's funny. It makes me giggle every time. And I watched that movie like almost 20 times now, so it seems to work pretty well.
That's a funny one, yeah.
That's the difficulty with a lot of comedy, because like a lot of times like knocks out of the park first time,
right?
Show it to the next person, you still laugh. You're just like, oh, I need to bring my buddy in. Aren't you gonna laugh at this? But a lot of jokes, you're just like, am I really gonna laugh? Like, oh, I'm just watching this in the background because like I know everything that happens.
Right. Yeah, that's a I totally forgot about that one. That's a very funny one. Yeah, there were a handful of things that made me laugh out loud in the theater, and that was definitely one of them. Was definitely one of them. That's cool.
Am I wrong?
I think it's
when that happened, I was like, is it gonna light up? I was like, yeah. I was like, yes. It didn't happen.
And I think it's because it's the juxtaposition of the dark humor with the innocence of this little creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's what really sells it for me every time.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments. I guess I leave now.
Well, you can. Yes. Well, hey, it was great having you. I think we'll see you. We'll see you next week.
All right. Check out Claude. Nice seeing you guys again.
All right, man. See ya. Bye.
That was golden.
It was good. That was funny. That was very funny. Well, we have another caller here. Hold on. Here he is.
Oh,
what are you doing? There he is.
Look at this handsome man.
Oh, he doesn't have his mic on. Oh, he's muted. Can I unmute it? No, I can't unmute you. There he is. Hello. Can you hear us? We still can't. Freaking computers. No. You know, he'll figure this out. We're going to take a call real quick. I'm going to try this whole thing with the doing a phone call without having listened to it first. Chris, I'm going to hit this. Tell me if you can hear it. Much like before. Here we go. You hear that?
Nope.
Yeah, hold on. Hang on a second. Here we go. Doing the slacker stuff. Hold on. Let me present. Here we go. Share screen. Turn that on.
Can you?
Are you there?
Now?
Can't hear you. We can see you.
What the hell? Hold on.
He's giving us the finger.
Oh,
you there? Nope. Can't hear you. It's that Alabama internet. All right, let's try this one more time. I'm going to try the voicemail thing here. Hold on. Tell me if you can. Oh, wait a second. You know what? Maybe we can't hear it because. Yeah, let's just let's try this here. Okay. Tell me if it works this time. Here we go. No.
Did you add it to stage?
Yeah. Oh, that's the problem. I'm gonna do. All right, hang on a second.
Yes. Hey, I just came in from outside where it's cold.
You hear that?
I'll get out, and my hands are frozen. So I thought I'd sit down and see what's going on. I see Pete's new reaction video of old Star Wars theory on Twitter, so I watched it. What the hell is wrong with that guy? I mean, I don't want to be the bad guy, and everybody can watch Star Wars or like Star Wars or not or whatever, and I'm trying to be negative. But that dude is on some serious crack. I mean, he says one thing, does the exact same thing, and then criticizes other people for doing the same thing. I mean, does this jackass, he needs that one friend, you had before you became rich or popular or famous that always tells you like it is, and the guy always says, hey, you're being a jackass. Old Star Wars story must not have that guy. He must have a lot of yes men because
yes. Yeah, it's funny. And this I will say, and it's really sad but true. The video that I did where I talked about his brand new little AI video, whenever I do a Star Wars theory video, man, they go through the roof as comparatively. So clickbait sells, I guess. I don't know. So Matt, thanks for the call. I'm gonna try one more call here, and let's see what this one's all about. Here we go. Yep, here we go.
Pete and Chris, first time, long time. Actually, that's not true. I've actually guest hosted the show quite a bit. This is you'll probably recognize my since I'm the only person that likes Star Wars as much as I do. That also his voice sounds like a possum playing a banjo. This is Corey Ryan Forster, and I actually have a grievance, Pete. Because here's the thing, I've noticed that every time I get called in to guest host, it's always whenever you are gone. It's never worked out the opposite. It's almost like you don't want to see me. It's almost like maybe, it's been brought up that like we should have Corey on the show.
Right.
And all of a sudden you were like, oh, guess what? I'm going to have COVID that day, and it's starting to feel a little personal. And so not only do we not get to ever be on the show together at the same time, now it's like, oh, hey, Corey, can you do something for the show? Oh, what is it? Do I get to see Pete? No, call and leave Pete a voicemail, right? So you don't, not only do you not get to see him or talk to him, you're just blathering on like a moron. And I'm starting to feel undervalued, even though I feel like, as y'all's North Georgia correspondent, I give and I give and I give and I give. And, honestly, there's probably some conspiracy theories on Reddit. Like, have you ever seen me and Pete in the same room? You haven't. Are we the same person? is it a looper situation where I am young Pete and old Pete has come from the future to shoot me and throw me into a ditch and steal the gold that is attached to my chest? The world may never know. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your show, and thanks for everything. I love you. Seriously, I do. I love you all. Goodbye.
Corey is the best, man.
That is absolute gold.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh,
let's
my God.
let's try Nick one more time. Nick, are you there now?
Can you hear me now?
I can. Your rich, dulcet tones of your voice.
Well, I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time.
Hey.
I
There you go.
know
I thought.
Chris thought he was going to get away tonight, but
Nick, I do not have the Boba Fettuary video, but
I'm ready to take a swim.
Do you have the Boba video?
I do. Hold that thought.
Because I do not. I have not gotten that one yet.
I do. Oh,
Matt says as soon as Pete does another Star Wars Theory video, all of Star Wars Theory's minions yell, "Hey, that crazy old guy!" Yeah, it's Matt. I hate to say it, I can't tell you how many of the comments I can tell immediately that they don't like me because they say things like, "Hey, old man," or whatever. It's ageism, and I will not put up with that shit.
Oh man.
Okay,
Realize
let me get the screen right.
Old men, there'd be no Star Wars.
That's very true. Very, very true. Let me remove that there. There we go. Hold on. Let's add this.
Turn old Oboby around.
Hold on. All right. So what's your Boba Fettuary toast to tonight?
Tonight, my Boba Fettuary toast is to exactly what you guys talked about. Laughter, having fun, humor in Star Wars. God knows we need to laugh in the world we live in right now. So cheers to Cam for bringing the laughs that he always brings. Cheers to you guys for making me laugh. And cheers to Star Wars for being funny, even when it's about all the other crazy shit in the galaxy. So
nice.
Cheers and happy Boba Fettuary.
Here we go.
My name is Boba Fett.
He did it again. He did it again. It's mad skills there, Mr. Nick.
Mission
Mad
accomplished,
skills.
friends.
Well done, sir.
Well, we were just wrapping up. We're glad you're here for the close of the show. Do you have a favorite funny scene? Other than I liked your comment on Han with the you're making the sound with your mouth. That's freaking. I forgot all about that. That's really funny.
You can't go wrong with Fly Casual. You can't go wrong with. I mean, honestly, you were talking about the Porg with the lightsaber. I love the memes that are Luke with the lightsaber in New Hope when he's looking at in Ben's hut.
Yes.
Yep. Somebody said, talking about Han's delivery and the subtle, just the little jabs. Like that's the way my humor works. That's the way my brain works. So anything like that, quick things. Finn, boyfriend, cool boyfriend, like that kind of stuff. That's funny.
Yeah.
Hux,
why you want to go back to Jakku?
Yeah. Poe messing with Hux on the phone, like all that. It just Star Wars is funny, and there's so much out there that just totally works.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Hey,
Are you okay?
Just like this, like
yeah, I'm fine. Stop grabbing my hand.
So good, but nobody likes this one.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh, it's funny, all right.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny,
especially if he had just followed it up with in Fortnite.
Oh my goodness! So hey, Nick, you're here. Who do we have on the show next week? I know.
Next week,
Next week
we have our good friend and actor, Mr. John Tague, is going to be joining us.
That's right. He'll be here this week. Then the week after is Maury Sterling, and then we have our friend Kelsey
Puckett.
So we got some stuff happening over the next couple weeks. Plus, we might be getting ready to start talking a little bit of Podathon pretty soon. It's that time of year again.
Is the season.
'Tis the season. Chris, once again, give us the Broaxium Outpost info so people can go buy that stuff from you.
Yeah, if you guys would be so kind, if you like buying action figures, or if you just want to support your favorite Star Wars content creator, your 58th favorite Star Wars content creator. You know, go to www.broaxiumoutpost.com. I have a ton of Star Wars action figures, Marvel Legends, Masters of the Universe, Star Wars action figures, and Star Wars action figures. And make sure you use the promo code ATG10 for 10% off your first order.
Nice. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. That's a purchase from Broaxium Outpost right in the middle. We had a blast tonight. Hopefully you did too. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Tell us, hey, listen, if you're joining us on a regular basis, and I know a lot of you are regulars, thank you for that. Tell somebody about it. Have them join us. Have them come on and be part of the fun and the goofiness. And hey, we will see you next week. Until then, Chris, may the force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.